Hey everybody, welcome back. It's time to do the wiring on the truck. So now we're going to go ahead and start taking the original modified stock style harness off of the truck. And we're going to replace it with the PSI Conversions standalone harness. The main reason for doing this is that the standalone harness is just much cleaner, and it's made for a clean installation, period. I mean, the harness is laid out in a manner where the computer is meant to be mounted inside the cab. And in this particular case, the original harness that was in the truck when I got it, the computer was mounted behind the headlight over here, and it looked terrible. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and start doing that. So follow along, check it out. I'll post up any pitfalls I run across or any kind of problems I have. And we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. Okay, so as you can see in the background, the wiring harness that was in the truck was just an absolute nightmare. There's any number of a few hundred butt connectors in there. I don't think there was anything that was ever soldered or heat shrinked or anything like that. So pulling the wiring harness out of the truck is probably, well, it's what I expected it to be. It's just in really sad shape. So this is a good opportunity to clean everything up and make it look presentable. So I'm not sure how much detail you can see in the video, but I got the area back there by the brake booster just torn apart down to nothing. So hopefully here in short order I'll have the rest of the harness out of the truck and kind of see what we got to work with here. So, well, check it out. Follow along. We'll see what we got. Okay, I pulled the old harness out of the truck, and it was a pretty good fight. The harness put up a really good fight, I should say. So this is what came out of it right here. Let's see how much of that you can see in the video. As you can see, it was a mess. So the PSI harness is already partially sitting on top of the engine. The hole in the firewall has already been cut, and I've started pushing the wires through the hole. Now I'll tell you one thing. It takes a 2-inch hole saw for the grommet on the main harness to sit in. A 2-inch hole is not really enough to get all of those wires through. So that takes a fair amount of patience just to get that done in itself. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get the wires all pushed through the firewall, and then start putting them in their home, in their final resting place. Okay, so we're putting the new PSI harness on there, and it looks like we're gonna have to pull the upper intake off. Probably don't have to pull the intake off, but we're gonna go ahead and do it because we have to be able to get to the cam position sensor plug in the back. It's also gonna make the routing of the transmission harness easier. And also there's a ground wire on the back of the driver's side cylinder head that's probably going to be pretty difficult to get to. So we're going to go ahead and pull the intake off now. Okay, the intake's off of it now. It's also going to give us the ability to just kind of check everything out, make sure the inside of the engine looks good, because I've never been into the engine, so why not? So here we go. We're going to check it out, get everything hooked up, and then we'll put it back together. Okay, so we didn't get a whole lot of the wiring captured, just mainly because it was just really boring stuff. And I'll try to throw up a couple of pictures that show just how bad it was, everything that I clipped out and whatnot. Right now the truck does run, and I got to give those guys at the PSI conversions place major props and hats off and all that good stuff. That wiring harness is probably the easiest thing I've ever done as far as installing one. So anybody that's thinking about a conversion harness, that's the place to go. Outside of that, I think this video is going to be a wrap as well. I know it was kind of short, but it was just wasn't worth filming all that stuff because it's really boring. But anyways, once again, if you haven't already, be sure and subscribe. We got a couple of new projects coming up that just signed up this week. We have some headers to do on a replica kit car, Shelby Cobra. The race car, I've got some of the work done on it as well. There's some videos coming for that. So anyways, be sure and subscribe so you get to see all those updates and some cool stuff coming up. Thanks again. See you in the next one.